What if I told you that it's probably not that you're so loyal, it's the simple fact you're afraid of letting go, okay? When it comes to friendship and, who we are willing to see as a friend, overinvestment will lead to an imbalance mentally, emotionally, energetically. Okay. And a lot of times what we think is us being loyal or giving people grace or, being understanding is actually us existing in a very dysfunctional pattern that we may be used to. You know, the way friendship is talked about and handled, it's kind of like one person should always be the support system. They should always be willing to give. They are the emotional vending machine that somebody else is rewarded with, right? So anytime we feel that there's an imbalance in terms of effort or, support or just recognition or consistency, any kind of reciprocity, we feel bad because I'm supposed to be a good friend. But is this person being a good friend to me? I like to say all the time, there's no such thing as a bad friend, right? Friendship in itself is meant to enrich our lives, right? That's the purpose that it should serve. Mutual love, respect, support. That is friendship. Anything else is not friendship. So when we say somebody is a bad friend, they might be bad at being one, but there's no such thing as a bad friend. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of times we will connect and stay connected to people who are familiar, right? If you look at your life history, how often were you made to feel like you had to earn love, right? You had to earn care. You had to earn other people liking you and validating you. And just because the person has changed doesn't mean the pattern has. Because friendship is a relationship, and as we know, this is also a person that we are doing life with that impacts us. And a lot of times we will choose friends that are very familiar in terms of our emotional patterns. If I always had to try harder, well, I'm willing to do that with this person because I need them to know how loyal and good of a friend I am. Sometimes that's just trauma, right? Sometimes we are overlooking the fact that somebody is not showing up. And the only thing that is keeping this friendship alive or this connection is the fact that I continue to. And sometimes it can be confusing of like, well, when do I call it and when do I not? The thing about friendship and what I've learned in my relationships, consideration is clarity. How does this person choose to consider me even when it's not convenient? Okay. A lot of what people talk about when it comes to friendship is convenience, right? If you listen to a lot of people talk about what friendship should be, a lot of it is based on what they should get from it. Oh, a friend should be understanding that I get busy. A real friend is okay with us not talking, right? A real friend is okay when I go through things and I don't respond to them. A real friend should be able to pick up where we left off. There are all of these demands of what a friend should be for us. But you don't hear those people saying, well, a real friend should be aware of how their behavior impacts another person. A real friend should be willing to communicate, even in the smallest way, just so they can take care of the emotional space of that person that they say that they care about. A real friend is practicing reciprocity and respect. A real friend holds themselves accountable. We don't often hear that, right? Just because somebody desires a transactional relationship with you at their convenience doesn't mean that you have to participate. And sometimes you may feel guilted into being a part of somebody's life only at their convenience, but you realize they only seem to hit me up when they need something, right? They only seem to reach out when they're going through things or they need help with things, but they're never making plans for us to just do life. They're not really asking me about my life, right? They're not a participant. And social media becomes a little cloudy too, right? Because we hear a lot of times people say, well, I shouldn't have to like your post for you to know that I'm your friend. And it's like, well, if you see me doing these things, would you not want to support me? Especially if I'm trying to build or grow. What does it take to like something that I do? Especially if you're willing to like other people that you don't even know, celebrities, who you have no part of their life. But why does the buck stop with me? You know, especially if you're keeping tabs on everything that I do, right? We leave all these plot holes or loopholes when it comes to friendship, which allows people who are not friendship material to exist and benefit from somebody else's friendship, somebody else's willingness to be considerate. Right? Sometimes you got to recognize what role you play in other people's lives, but also be aware of what role does this person actively play in my life. And then we have the whole conversation around not having expectations. It's like, well, when it comes to friendship, you should have some expectations. If I had no expectations of what a friendship is supposed to look and feel like, then I would say everybody is my friend, even the people who have no desire or discipline to be one. And what does that lead to? Disappointment, being dysregulated constantly, being disoriented, being confused about what healthy friendship looks like. And then you go out into the world and you practice those same behaviors and habits that you were conditioned to believe was appropriate with other people who may believe in a certain value or standard when it comes to friendship. So you should have expectations. A lot of times there are people telling others to not have expectations of them while they still get their needs met. And that's not friendship. That's a transaction. You know, energy is currency. There is an exchange there. As friends, we need to invest in one another. But you'll start to notice the imbalance, right? You'll start to notice the imbalance in support. You'll notice the imbalance in integrity. If this person really does rock with me, or is there something else that I'm missing? They don't really like me for real, but they continue to hang around me. Well, why is that? They always say energy does not lie. And no matter how much we tell a person something different, we may show them the actual truth. But the goal for you is to recognize, when I choose my friends, what values am I basing it on, right? What defines friendship to me? Is it proximity? Okay. Is it a certain moral compass? Because everybody says they want to be treated well, right? But how often are we treating others well? Is it sincerity? Is it integrity? It's important for you to explore what creates friendship for me, or is it just simply convenience? Sometimes we fear losing people so much that we don't even realize we haven't gained anything from the relationship. A lot of times it's you keeping it going. And a lot of times we are so disappointed because we mislabel people. Some people can be friendly, does not mean that they are friendship material. And you got to ask yourself, well, what kind of friend am I? Because as we see, there are a lot of people who know what a good friend looks like, but they have no desire to be an example of it. So I challenge you to explore, which friendships do I feel imbalanced in right now? Have I communicated my needs? Have I established boundaries? Am I overgiving? Am I people pleasing? Be honest with yourself in terms of how you're moving in these relationships too, and see what comes up. What is holding a lot of the bonds together that I label as friendship? Is it actual reciprocation? Is an exchange going on? Or is it me overexerting myself just to keep people in my life and for them to not forget me and theirs at my own expense? It's okay to have very few friends who mean the world because of the quality of who they are. That means you're probably doing something right. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.